Hey everybody and welcome.
Shut up.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Inside Gaming Daily for Friday. Let's give a big yes for Amazon.
Okay, I will.
You said Patrick would not do the screen. Screw this. We destroy their planet next month.
I don't know. I don't want to give any big yes or ups to Amazon at all.
What?
So
They don't
let's give
need
a big
any help
yes
from
for
us.
not paying taxes. Yes. Anyway, they've apparently decided that owning all of retail is not enough.
I mean, what is enough? You know, really.
Jeff Bezos is trying to get enough money to climb up to heaven and kill God.
Yes.
Yeah, a new challenger is approaching. Another big tech company who is throwing a lot of money around because a spreadsheet told them that video games are the future, and they're here. They're here with their money to spend it. This is what being colonized feels like, I guess.
Amazon announced Luna, its cloud streaming service that we've been predicting for quite a while now. They introduced it yesterday with a sleek-looking video showing a young lady playing Control on every single screen she came across.
We're doing the Kotaku thing now. Like, yeah, we knew about this. We heard about that too.
We did predict it, but so did everybody else.
Literally
It wasn't our
The
prediction.
whole world.
Yeah.
Their pitch is you can play games anywhere. Wow. On devices you already own. Wow. Which seems like a dig at Google Stadia and maybe Project xCloud.
I mean, yeah, it's the promise of every streaming service.
The service goes live in early access next month. Subscriptions start at $5.99. That's cheaper than Stadia Pro, which is now $10 a month. And while it's got a lot of similarities to Stadia and Microsoft's Project xCloud, also some important differences. So we're gonna dig into those.
The similarities are pretty straightforward. You can play games on various devices, and Amazon's AWS cloud infrastructure handles all the actual computing work while streaming it to you.
Again, though, Amazon is making a point that you can play Luna games on devices that you already have. Luna will launch in early access on Fire TV, PC, Mac, and iOS devices, including iPhones and iPads. Meanwhile, Luna head Mark Whitten told Engadget that the Android version should go live within weeks of the early access launch.
But it was that iOS compatibility that immediately raised some eyebrows because Apple notoriously locked down with its toys. So how did Amazon pull this off? They kind of had a sweetheart deal in the past with the Prime Video and stuff. Maybe they got a little secret thing with that. Maybe it and Apple are hooking up on the DL. What's going on?
Jeff Bezos put on his best vest and beat the shit out of Tim Cook.
Yeah, probably.
Bezos is jacked.
Brutal, dude.
Billionaire jacked.
He just stuck his head in Tim Cook's mouth. So, when it comes to Luna, Amazon found a workaround by using a browser-based program that acts like a native iOS app. You'll be able to download it from the Luna site, and a nice little icon will pop up on your phone, but it totally circumvents the App Store. Apple will shut it down.
Yeah.
They will
almost
100%
certainly.
shut it down.
This has shut it down written all over it.
Which Epic did try a similar thing with Fortnite on Google Play. That didn't turn out well, probably because people don't really trust side-loaded stuff, just because they're trained to trust the App Store and the Play Store. So we'll see if Luna eventually joins the iOS store, but for now it's being a little renegade-ish. Whitten told Engadget, "We'll continue working with Apple. We'd love to do a native experience. They're evaluating what their policies are. They keep talking about them. And when we can come up with a good experience there, we'll ship that one too."
We'll talk more about Luna and what games it's gonna have in just a second, but first let's talk about RTX and AT&T 5G.
Hey, big shout out to AT&T for helping us throw a huge RTX at home this year. And since it was at home, it was over the internet. Without AT&T, the show wouldn't have even been possible. AT&T's 5G network is now available nationwide. Great news, guys. Whether you're at home or on the go, you'll enjoy more coverage in more places. Plus, AT&T, they don't make it complicated. 5G access is included in all best consumer unlimited plans at no extra cost. For more information on AT&T 5G, visit att.com/5G. And again, thank you to AT&T. Boy, the 5G network really helps when you're putting on an internet-only convention like we did with RTX at home this year, but it was a ton of fun. I love the IG panel, and we will see you next year.
Okay, we're back, and let's talk games. Unlike Stadia, Luna is going for more of an all-you-can-eat approach to games.
In early access, you pay $5.99 to get access to Luna Plus. That's the service's basic channel. It has a selection of games that you can play. They're not free because it's a subscription, but it's not a storefront either. So it's Resident Evil 7, Control, Panzer Dragoon, Grid, Abzu, Brothers: A Tale of Two Two Sons, Tacoma Res Infinite, Metro Exodus The Sexy Brutale, Overcooked 2, and more. But Amazon also stressed that $5.99 price. That's during early access, so maybe it'll change. Maybe they'll jack it up later.
Yeah. They're also going to have additional channels coming soon. Amazon announced the first one yesterday. It's a partnership with Ubisoft that will include a selection of older games from the developer. It'll also give you access to upcoming games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Far Cry 6, but they did not give pricing info on that yet. It sounds like a cable provider.
Anytime someone starts a platform, Ubisoft is like, oh, we'll put our games on it. Yeah, overall, it looks like they're going for a broader selection of free games as opposed to Stadia, which is more of a storefront with a few games thrown in with your $10 a month subscription. That was a tough sell that did not work. It was very bad.
Amazon said that they're planning to have about 100 games available during the early beta between the Luna Plus channel and the Ubisoft channel. Luna Business Development Manager Lisa Schwenke described it as more than Stadia, less than Game Pass. She described the split as about 50 games in each of the two channels. It's a fair amount of games.
Yeah, xCloud currently has about 150 games available through Game Pass. Stadia is up to about 90. That seems high for Stadia, but that's what I read, so it must be right. Of course, Amazon also has something Microsoft and Google don't, Twitch. And of course, naturally, Luna is going to be integrated with Twitch.
On game pages, you'll be able to see related Twitch streams of that game, and if you're watching a streamer play a Luna game, you'll be able to click a link and play it too, if you're a subscriber, of course.
As for resolution, they're targeting 4K and 60 FPS, but they said in early access it'll support 1080p and 60 FPS. I mean, I would still be impressed if they could actually even pull that off.
And of course, they have their own controller too, which kind of looks like a Switch Pro controller. Actually, really looks like a Switch Pro controller.
Like
Instead of connecting to the device you're playing on, the controller will connect directly to Amazon's cloud, which is a move to cut down on latency and allow you to swap out games instantly.
So yeah, there are some differences with Stadia, but there's still the ultimate question of whether or not people actually want this yet. Stadia hasn't exactly been a rousing success, but it's also had a ton of issues. No games, the promised features haven't happened, so I feel like Amazon clearly thinks it's going to be able to succeed where Google has not so far.
Of course, Amazon has been experimenting with games for years now. It owns Twitch, the biggest streaming service, so...
They also have been developing their own games like Crucible, which was a mess and had to go back into closed beta. They're also working on an MMO called New World, which has been delayed until next year. They also made a tie-in game with Grand Tour, which sucked.
And they're working on that Lord of the Rings MMO too.
They've been streaming, they've been making a few games, but obviously Luna, a much bigger entry into the industry, establishing Amazon as not just a game maker or a streaming service, but a platform to play games on. That's what everybody wants to be, a platform. And of course, analysts and us, because we're pros here, have been predicting for a while now that Amazon would unveil their own cloud service. NPD analyst Matt Piscatella said, seems like we've been waiting forever for this.
He added that the all-you-can-eat plan is the right way to go, and that announcing iOS support is intriguing. Wonder what agreement was made here.
But like Stadia and xCloud, he predicted that Luna will have the same major challenge, which is poor US internet infrastructure and expensive ISP plans and/or data caps.
This will not be available in Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, Nebraska, any of the Dakotas, forget about it.
Parts of New York.
It's also worth pointing out the gaming industry is a unique animal. It's got its own challenges. Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, of course, they've been in it for decades now. Google and Amazon haven't. So there's some things maybe they're going to need to get used to. VentureBeat's Jeff Grubb made a good point here. Making games is so much harder than almost any other entertainment business that Amazon or Google are in. It takes thousands of people to make one game. Amazon's other software projects each require a fraction of that. They will ask why they're even in this business in a few years.
Yeah, and AAA game making is a hit-driven, high-risk, high-reward situation. When a big game bombs, it can be devastating. Amazon and Google both have deep pockets, but do they have the patience to stick it out?
Meanwhile, if you want to sign up for an invite to check out Luna, those are open now. We did it, and Amazon asked some questions about our gaming habits. What devices do you own? How often do you play? Are you a competitive gamer? Stuff like that. They also ask you to take an internet speed test and put the results into the form.
So after we submitted, we got an automated response from Amazon that said, due to the high volume of requests, invitations will be limited. You will receive an email in the future if you are selected. Ooh, I hope I'm selected.
I've got a chance to pay full price for a game that's on sale for $20 at Steam. Oh.
It is a privilege. to be allowed to consume.
I agree. I remember when I got into, before Stadia was Stadia, and they had the Google Stream beta, and I got in and I could play Assassin's Creed Odyssey on my laptop. You know, it's like, this is kind of cool. And then I closed my laptop and never opened the beta again.
I really just hope they don't start buying up studios. And
There aren't any left. What are they gonna buy?
When you think about it, it's good value for me. I'm happy to have it. But think about people who are in really low income families who can only buy one game a year.
I saw you tweet that. Yeah. That's a good point.
I mean, that's even coming from like my perspective, which is still like I had enough money to function. Was I would have to like pick very carefully what games I would buy in any given year, and